Hello, guys. Today, a major crack in the global landscape has grown even deeper. The United Nations saw a significant vote. 14 countries backed a two-state solution. For the first time, India voted in favor of Palestine, moving away from Israel. Saudi Arabia welcomed the decision. Meanwhile, a former IDF chief admitted that over 200,000 Palestinians have either been killed or injured. A missile launched from Yemen shook Israel, shutting down airports and sending millions to shelters. Qatar has made it clear it will take every step against Israel. Before we dive into the news, a quick request. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so now. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends and family. Also, drop a comment to let us know which state or city in India you're watching from. Your participation strengthens us. First, some updates from West Asia. After months, Israel released 13 Palestinians from Gaza. Medical and human rights groups say they were held in appalling and degrading conditions. According to the Gaza Media Office, over 1.3 million Palestinians, including 300,000 children, remain trapped in Gaza City and the north. Despite this, Israel continues its relentless bombing and issues forced evacuation orders. Since yesterday morning, more than 70 Palestinians have been killed, with 48 deaths in Gaza City and the north alone. Hamas reports that its leader, Khalil al-Hayya, led the funeral prayers in Doha for his son Hammam and others killed in an Israeli attack, confirming that Khalil himself was not injured. On another front, President Donald Trump will dine tonight with his Middle East envoy, Steve Bannon, and Qatar's Prime Minister, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman. When the U.S. president hosts a dinner, it carries a significant political message. Qatar wields both financial influence and diplomatic pressure. Following an Israeli attack on Doha, Qatar's Prime Minister is meeting Trump to demand action against Netanyahu. In other news, top U.S. diplomat Marco Rubio is arriving in Israel today. Reports suggest the Israeli government may present plans to annex the West Bank and integrate it into Israel during his visit. Now, to the big story, a historic vote took place at the United Nations General Assembly. A two-state solution garnered support from 142 countries. India, for the first time, voted for Palestine, abandoning Israel. Israel is furious. Of the votes, 142 said yes, while only 10, including Israel and its biggest ally, the United States, said no. 12 countries abstained. The resolution, dubbed the New York Declaration, was proposed by France and Saudi Arabia. It explicitly calls for concrete, time-bound steps to halt the war and resolve the Israel-Palestine conflict. It also demands that Hamas release hostages, dismantle its governance in Gaza, and hand over weapons to the Palestinian Authority, paving the way for an independent Palestinian state. Palestine's foreign ministry welcomed the initiative, stating it's time to end Israel's occupation through every possible means and grant Palestinians their rightful claims. Israel called the vote shameful, arguing it will embolden Hamas and prolong the Gaza war. Yet, Israeli bombings continue unabated. The winds are shifting against Israel. The flame is flickering, and in a surprising move, India's government has dealt a blow to its ally. By voting for Palestine at the UN, India has openly endorsed a two-state solution. The message is clear: India doesn't want to stand apart from global opinion. When powerful European nations and key Arab trade partners are paving the way for Palestinian freedom, the Modi government cannot afford to take an opposing stance. India has long advocated for a two-state solution, and this vote aligns with that position. Saudi Arabia also praised the resolution, with its foreign ministry noting that its passage by a 142-country majority proves the world wants peace. The declaration reaffirms that Palestinians deserve their rights, an independent state based on the 1967 borders, with East Jerusalem, home to the Al-Aqsa Mosque, as its capital. On September 12, the British newspaper The Guardian dropped a bombshell. Israel's former military commander, Herzi Halevi, admitted that over 200,000 Palestinians have been killed or injured in the Gaza war. Halevi stated that since October 7, 2023, more than 1 million of Gaza's 2.2 million residents have been drenched in blood. The Guardian notes that these figures align with Gaza's health ministry reports: over 64,000 deaths and more than 86,000 injuries. Thousands remain buried under rubble or missing. Leaked Israeli intelligence reports confirm that over 80% of those killed were civilians. Most shockingly, Halevi admitted that no operation in this war was ever halted due to legal advice. Legal advisors, it seems, are mere window dressing, allowing Netanyahu and his government to politically justify the war. That justification? Lies. The same lies Netanyahu repeated, claiming Gaza's death toll was exaggerated. Now, those lies have been slapped down by the very man who led Israel's military from the war's start. Who will Netanyahu face, and how will he keep lying with a straight face? While some reports suggest the death toll has reached 200,000, The Guardian bases its story on official figures and documents. Meanwhile, Israel's parliament, the Knesset, passed another decision. A hefty sum has been allocated for the Gaza war. In its first reading, a bill approved 30.8 billion shekels, over $9 billion. Where will this money go? To cover the unplanned costs of the ongoing massacre in Gaza, restock missiles, and purchase hundreds of new armored vehicles for the military. In short, the more blood Israel spills, the more money it pours in. It's clear that Gaza's destruction is Israel's budget priority. Elsewhere, Qatar's Prime Minister and Foreign Minister arrived in Washington, meeting with the U.S. Vice President and Secretary of State. The talks covered bilateral ties and regional issues. The U.S. Vice President expressed solidarity with Qatar, stating that diplomacy is the only solution to remaining challenges. Think about it, the U.S., always ready for war, is now preaching negotiation. Praising Qatar's mediation efforts, the U.S. called it a trusted strategic partner. But listen closely. Qatar's Prime Minister declared that, following Israel's attack, Qatar will take every necessary step to protect its sovereignty. This repetition signals more than just rhetoric. He praised ties with Washington and ongoing U.S. support, but is this mere courtesy? Or is it a move to secure U.S. backing before a major reaction? It's possible that, with this warning against Israel, Arab nations are reminding the U.S. of their oil and wealth. Time will tell if these meetings lead to action or remain, as usual, a cycle of statements and complaints. The Israeli military claims its air defense system shot down a ballistic missile fired by Yemen's Houthi rebels. Sirens blared in Tel Aviv and central Israel. The army says no lives were lost, only debris fell. But the Houthi media channel Al Masirah claims the missile caused chaos in Israel, forcing flights at Ben Gurion Airport to halt and sending millions of Israelis to bunkers. The army may say the missile was intercepted, but the reality is that fear still grips Israel. In Iran, Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei watched an Iranian film, Moses, the Kalimullah, directed by Ibrahim Hadamikia. The movie depicts the story of Moses and Pharaoh. Khamenei called it brilliant and urged a sequel. The story is familiar. Pharaoh dreams of a child who will destroy his empire. Despite efforts to stop it, Moses is born, and the tale unfolds. Shifting to Sudan, the U.S., Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the UAE have called for a 3-month ceasefire in the ongoing civil war. They stated that no rebel group will determine Sudan's future, specifically pointing to a group tied to the Muslim Brotherhood, accused of worsening the situation. The focus of these powerful nations is now on Sudan. Let's see if concrete steps to end the civil war emerge. In Syria, tensions have flared again. Heavy clashes broke out in Aleppo between Syrian government forces and the Syrian Democratic Forces, SDF. The plan was to integrate the SDF into the government forces, but the SDF claims it wasn't given equal importance. As a result, the two sides clashed, worsening the situation. Meanwhile, top U.S. generals met with Syrian officials in Damascus, discussing regional security, ISIS, and Syria's stability. Beyond the Middle East, two major stories. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, a boat accident killed 103 people when overcrowded vessels capsized. In Myanmar's Rakhine State, the military bombed a private school in Threatabin village, killing 18 people, including children, and injuring 20. These are some of the critical, underreported stories from around the world. Mainstream media may feed you noise, but we strive to bring you the truth. If you found this video valuable, share it widely. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your one click strengthens our truth.